Dana Abercrombie, the Koalition. Thank you both for speaking to me. I wanted to start off first with you, Carlos. When it comes to fashion, what were the immediate visual or other elements that you pulled from the script?
Well, I think the most important thing was to design the colony. And so in order to do that, I knew it was a multicultural colony. And actually, Fede put a lot of work into casting people from all kinds of different races to create that colony. So what I did is that I did a lot of research on all kinds of uniforms from all kinds of different cultures and different countries. I went to the past, mostly to period pieces from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, for farmers in America. Miners a little bit everywhere in the world, whether it's Russia, East Europe. And so I played with all those kind of vintage elements in order to create the costumes. But you're absolutely right. Speaking about fashion, it was important to anchor all these costumes in reality. And so since my background is in fashion, I always come from that perspective. I don't like when the costumes become too costumey and too theatrical. I like when they're very anchored and grounded in reality.
So for you, Rodolfo, what I was wondering is the characters are much younger than what we've seen in the Alien franchise. How do you feel that either changes the character development or the structure of the script?
Well, that comes out of our original idea, and what sparked this idea is that I don't know if you remember in the second movie, James Cameron's Aliens, there's actually a scene that did not make it into the cut. It's a deleted scene, so you can find it in the Blu-ray. And it shows a little bit of the life in the colony Hadley's Hope. So all these workers have kids. In that movie, those kids are toddlers, right? But we thought, what is going to be what is the life that those kids are going to have in that colony? Once actually they realize that the colony is not going anywhere, that the future that the company promised to them doesn't exist, that there's no hope, there's no future for them, and they're trapped in a colony like 100 light years away from Earth. We thought that was very, very interesting, and that was worth exploring and creating a story to follow those characters, right? And later on, we realized that it actually resembles a lot our first Don't Breathe that came out in 2016, which is about young kids, teenagers trying to find a better path and a better life for them, that feel trapped in a place that doesn't not give them anything, that doesn't that feeling of being born in the wrong place, that a lot of people understand and a lot of people suffer, and that impulse of trying to break out of that and build something for yourself and be in control of your life and break out of a system that is actually enslaving you. We thought that was a huge theme, and it fit perfectly in the Alien franchise. So right off the bat, we knew that was a winner, and we developed the story around that, and I think it works great.
Wonderful. And then for both of you, there's a character who's kind of has built-in technology, possibly a robot. I wanted to know, can you talk about dressing and writing for a character that uses technology the way that he does?
What do you mean? What character?
There was a character from one of the clips.
Yeah.
It was an African-American male who seems to who's
synthetic,
like a robot. Yeah, synthetic.
Yeah. Well, that's super fun, because there's a huge theme that is a part of the Alien franchise, and also a part of many horror movies, which is what is human and what is not human, and what is it that makes us human. And having a character that's synthetic, and that eventually it acts more humanely than some humans, brings out that dilemma. What is it that makes you a human? Is it that just your organism, or is it your behavior? So it's super fun. It's super fun to explore that with a character like this. And there's a whole subplot that's about that I think it's very, very deep and very moving, and super fun to watch in this movie, that's related to this character and his relationship with the main character, played by Kaylee Spaney. And that was super fun to write, super fun. And it's very embedded into the Alien franchise. There's always a synthetic, and that synthetic brings out these themes that Fede and I thought that are amazing and super interesting, and you never get tired of exploring those themes.
And
Well, I think for me, in terms of costumes, what I would say is that in order to design the costume for him, for Andy, I had to understand who was Rain, because her father gave Andy the synthetic to Rain in order to protect her. And Rain was actually helping the farmers. And so for me, I wanted to design something for Andy that was in alignment with what the farmers wore, which is, coveralls. And I added a lot of zippers in order to, give it a more industrial feel to it, but it needed to be very contrived and very, a very clean silhouette to be in alignment with the character that he is too. And there is one accessory that he wears that Fede loves, and it's this kind of fanny pack that he wears around the waist. And so that's because that's coming from, actually, it was very popular in the 80s. And so Fede wanted to add that little accessory to his costume because in a way he doesn't need anything. So we thought, well, he doesn't need a backpack like everybody else when they escape. So we thought, well, he can just put whatever he wants in that tiny little bag, and that's all his entire life, is right there in that tiny little fanny pack.
wonderful. Thank you both so much for speaking to me. Wonderful movie.
Thank you.
Thank you.